Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of POWERPLAY, where we bring you everything and anything futsal. So this is a podcast where we'll be posting an episode basically once a week, and we'll be talking about anything from training tips to some interesting topics in futsal, and also some very interesting interviews with some very interesting people. So I'm also quite new to this, so bear with me. I'll be open to some of your feedback and also some topic suggestions. But first, let me give you a bit of introduction on myself. My name is Jeremy, but some people know me as Coach Dave, and I'm probably one of the biggest futsal enthusiasts that you'll ever meet. So I started playing futsal competitively pretty late, maybe at about 18 years old when I just joined college. Prior to that, I was doing a lot more of squash. But when I started playing it, I fell in love with it almost immediately. And the reason as to why was mainly because at that point in my life, I felt I had very little control, right? Not really interested in what school had to offer. I found myself looking for futsal games as often as I could. But at that point in time, I still remember there were not many futsal courts available. It was either Sports Planet Subang or you play in Extreme Park Sunway. So what I ended up doing was I used to go to all the random public futsal courts all around Subang and just look for pickup games and see where I could play. And more often than not, I would play maybe even twice or 3 times a day. And a lot of these courts, the games that were held there were really competitive. So the highlight ones were like SS18, USJ2, USJ20, and you'd be surprised, like a lot of the players that have played there, now I'm seeing on TV, playing the MPFL league, right? So it was the only place I felt that all the noise got cancelled out and all that mattered was the game. So initially I was a lot more focused on playing and I didn't start off with big dreams of being like, this coach. But after forming a team with a couple of friends, there was not really anyone to guide us through the coaching process. So I kind of just fell into that role and I soon learned that I really loved doing it. So at that time, I wasn't really getting paid for doing it, but I just did it because I loved doing it. So at the same time, me and my 2 friends started an academy for kids. So this was meant to be a business idea, but it started off more as a side hustle because we were all doing our own jobs, right? So at this point, I was working 9 to 5. I was coaching my team at night, and on the weekends, I would be coaching the kids. So I wanted to make this my career and what I did all day, every day. But I didn't really see a pathway to do that, and the coaching profession wasn't really something that was respected in this country. So at the most unlikely times, at the height of the pandemic, a friend approached me with the opportunity to turn my passion into a career. So I jumped at it, but of course I had to discuss this with my better half. But what I ended up doing was taking the opportunity, and I believe that this was something that was really important because it was the ability to turn my passion into a career that can grow and have the impact on the community that I've always dreamt of. It was a huge leap of faith because I didn't know when the pandemic would end, but I really felt convicted and that it was a decision that I had to make now or never. So this was the one chance I had to make my dream a reality. So fast forward a couple of years later, I am now the proud owner of Far Post Academy, which has about 200 kids, One United Futsal Club, which boasts about 60 to 70 players total, and D2 Movement, which is a lifestyle brand, and all of these are still growing. So why the podcast, right? So I looked around and there was nothing like this really available. There are tons of podcasts around, but none surrounding the futsal topic, right? So I wanted to fill the gap where futsal enthusiasts can come and discuss and learn more about the sport. So I wanted it to be a place where we share knowledge with players, coaches, managers from different teams, where you hear stories about real people, right? So it's also a place where I wanted to be able to be candid about some interesting issues surrounding Malaysian futsal, such as racism, dealing, lack of funds, players' salary, and so on. I know I'm going to get some heat for this, but I mean, it is what it is, right? So this has been in the work for a long time. We came up with the podcast idea maybe a year or 2 back, but there was never a perfect time, and now isn't really the perfect time, but again, like now or never, right? So we understood that we'd never be fully 100% ready, but we just made the decision to do this because we realized we'd learn along the way, and hopefully we'll be learning with all of you. So now that you know a little bit about me and my journey, you know why we're doing this. So next week, we're going to have a very interesting guest on our podcast. He's no stranger to the futsal scene, and I'm sure we're going to have a very insightful discussion next week. So I hope you guys tune in. So don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and follow us for anything and everything futsal.